Hey, how's it going? Yeah, my name's Josue. Kind of got referred to as Sway now. Kind of vibed with that for a while. So I just came to Seattle and basically learned to be a chef. Was hella stoked on that, but found my passion over here skating, and just want to let people know like how I started skating. It's just been a couple months. What my story is. I'm really passionate about the origin of like initially like everyone pretty much gets like knows Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and they're like, oh yeah, it's so cool, so cool. As a kid, like I really wanted to, like, and I mean most kids can't even write their like parents' two sentences. I wrote a whole essay on like strategical limits on what should be the reasons why I can benefit from skating and how it can be a good exercising sport. And regardless, this is statistical analysis of how you break bones. As a kid, I was like trying to get on them because I really like gaming. I was into gaming as a kid, but really I was wanting to be a skater. I wanted to do that. I didn't even know it was physically possible to do the things they did in Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. It completely blew my mind that people were doing that in real life. So I wrote this essay, really heartfelt, really serious, because I did not want to get a no. I was scared shitless of my parents and shit, regardless. So I gave it to them. My dad just abruptly, like in the era where, it was associated with gang members and tagging and, freaking vandalism. He just like outright no. And I just let that fear kind of get in me. I had that like resent and fear that I really didn't know. I kind of forgive and forget, like I forgave and forgot, but I ended up forgetting a piece of myself, skateboarding. And I didn't know until I picked it up. Yeah, so when I'm talking about fear, I'm kind of mainly referring like three different kinds of fear that I experienced. That was like that fear that I had, which I'm almost ashamed of to say, is like I fear I have my dad. Is the reason I didn't skateboard behind his back. It was just that much fear I had for whatever. So, and then there's also the fear you have of like, what if you didn't learn to skate soon enough? Like, oh, that you see that kid skating. Like, if I learned to skate when I was a kid, I would have learned to fall better, so I wouldn't get hurt. So like, what? I'm already too old to start skating now, or like it's also, as much as we like to think we're individuals and we're resilient to the outside negative influences and the vocalizations we hear, and it doesn't affect our inner monologue. A lot of the times we listen to this society pressure of telling us that like you're gonna get hurt or whatever, not initially, but then when we're coming back to ourselves. So it was finally me just taking a stand and being like, you know what, all of that fear is irrational. I just chose to walk in faith. And that's what really got me into skateboarding, everything aspect. I started finding out like things I always loved about skateboarding. It was kind of fucking funny because I was like, well, what skate shoes am I gonna get for skating? And I already skate shoes. It was kind of like eye opener. I was just like, oh, like I always thought maybe I was a poser. Or I looked onwards, like. So anybody who ever looks onwards, like, and thinks it looks cool, just try it. Everyone feels like they're gonna, like that first feeling, like, oh, I stepped on a board, I felt like I was gonna die. I'm like, everyone feels like they're gonna die. It's literally falling with style. So everyone should try to skateboard. It could be for you. Maybe it's not for you, but it could be for you. So the message of really inspire and intrigue is kind of like that. I want to pay it forward that I found out in like it changed my life so much in falling. I haven't broken a bone. I'm 30. I haven't ever broken a bone. And so it's like so much playing it safe. Like, oh, like you gotta be safe or whatever. Like to a certain extent, you gotta take a risk too. And it was great. I want to spread that to everybody. I want everybody to, if they don't reside with skateboarding particularly, then reside with your own passions. Double down on whatever. If you want to like draw, then draw. If you're into taking photography, if you're textiles, calligraphy, I mean there's all kinds of stuff and avenues and niches that you can have your passion for. And I just really want people to not be afraid to fall. If they can see me in my cliffs falling and see me still like smiling that I fell, you should be happy in the same way. Take chances. And I learned that too from my chef life. the best dishes are made by accident. I mean, potato chips, everybody knows that. It's a clear accident. But I mean, just go out there and do it. So inspire, intrigue with is really just about that. Inspire, and then the intrigue is in how you are different than the rest. What can you offer to the pie? That extra flavor. It's just like when skateboarding. Nobody can ever skate the same. And it's really one thing that's really humbling. And so that is out there with everything, with food, with whatever, how you do everything. So just live your life to the fullest.